Hey, curl friends. Welcome to Curls and Conversations podcast, the show where we keep it real about curls, confidence, and culture. I'm your host, Unique Johnson, a 10-year natural hairstylist and specialist of curls. Every week, we're talking about hair truths, industry trends, and everything in between. So grab your bonnet and grab your tea because it's about to get real. 20, is it 22? Yeah, I was actually in hair school to become an instructor at the time. Again, I just moved to Atlanta 2021. I was burnt out from working and all that stuff and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I knew that I wanted to teach. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go and try to, get a certification in teaching. So I'm in hair school at the time, and I remember it was like late September of 22, and I was just laying on my couch and just kind of like feeling around, and I felt the lump, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, I had never felt this before. So immediately I'm like, I need to find a doctor. Like, first of all, I'm trying not to freak out. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a cyst or like whatever. Like, I'm not immediately thinking that it's breast cancer. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, my mom had breast cancer twice. Like, it very much well could be that. But my mind is not automatically going to it's breast cancer. So I'm like, I need to go get it checked out. So I had to find a doctor to go to because I didn't have a doctor here at that time. So I had to find a doctor who could put in an order for me to get a mammogram because, again, I'm so young that they don't recommend mammograms to like 40 something. So you have to get it ordered from your doctor. So I go to the doctor and she's feeling around. She's like, oh, it just could be a cyst or whatever, but I'm going to, because of your history, your family history, I'm going to send an order over to get a mammogram. So I leave there and I schedule the mammogram with Northside, who they have a cancer center, breast cancer center, and it was free. So at this point, it's like October. So during the month of October, there's a lot of free mammograms that you can get from different hospitals and things like that, just because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I go and get a mammogram from Northside, and the results came back, and they're like, we're going to have you come back and do a biopsy because we see something, but we're not really sure what it is. And you have really, your breasts are dense, so you may have to do an ultrasound as well. So I do the ultrasound, and then I go back and do the biopsy. So if you don't know what a biopsy is, basically they're taking a piece of tissue out of your body, and they're testing that piece of tissue that they think is something wrong. So I do the biopsy, and I'm like laying on the table as the doctor is doing it, and there's two nurses in there, and they're talking to me. And I just remember laying there and I just started crying. And I don't know, at this point, I still don't know if it was positive or not, but I just remember feeling like, oh my God, like, this could really be it. And they felt that. So they were like trying to talk to me about different things and like try to make me laugh. So I definitely will forever, I will forever love those nurses that were in there in that biopsy room with me because they really did help me to calm down. So do the biopsy and they tell you, it'll come back in a week or two. So during that time, my cousin comes into town and we're having fun. We're going out. I'm trying not to think about what the results are until I get them. So I remember I was in class and I got the phone call and I answered it. It was the doctor that did the biopsy, and she was like, yeah, you have tested positive for I think it's called invasive ductal carcinoma, which is breast cancer. And I just was like, okay. I remember not really having a whole bunch of words, but I was just like, okay, because she was kind of saying so much information to me. And I was still trying to process the fact that she said it was positive. So she gave me the number. She gave me a bunch of contacts to a surgeon and all these other doctors, and she was like, what you need to do next is go consult with a surgeon to talk about the next steps. So that's what I did. um, but I hung up the phone with her, and I remember I called my boyfriend, and I was still in a state of shock. Like, I can kind of remember this day, but not really. And I just remember him just kind of like being like, okay, like, what, you want me to come get you from school? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, he was just asking. I was like, no. At first, I was like, no, you ain't got to come get me. Like, the day about to be over. Like, it's fine. Like, thinking I'm going to be okay after hearing this news. I don't know why I thought that I was going to be able to stay at school after learning something like that. But I was like, no, just come get me at regular time. It's fine. About to call this doctor and see what's up, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up calling, I think I ended up calling my dad or something like that too. And, again, this is all such a blur. Like, I can barely remember what happened that day, but I did end up calling my boyfriend again and telling him to come and get me early, because I was just like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be at school. I don't want to be around nobody right now. So he came to get me, went home, and immediately he was just like, all right, we're about to clean up our diet, about to go alkaline. I'm about to get you some herbs. I'm about to da-da-da. And I will always appreciate him for like just taking initiative that way. And I think that a lot of times we go through situations and we expect people to respond a certain way or be there for us a certain way that we're used to. And his way of being there for me was to help me health wise, because that's what he's good at, that's what he knows, and that's what he can control, right? So he was really like, we're about to do this, we're about to do that, we're about to cut this off, da da. Like, I went super clean eating for like 2 months, after my diagnosis. And so I got the diagnosis, started meeting with all these doctors. Like, everything was just going so fast. Like, I had to make health decisions so quickly, and I'm still trying to like process what's even going on. So had to meet with a surgeon, a plastic surgeon. I cannot remember the name of the doctor that does chemotherapy. Oh my God. I don't know why, brain fart, but I had to meet with all these doctors. And the first thing that I said and did, I remember saying, I wanted to secure my family. Like, that was extremely important to me at the time, because I don't have kids right now, but I want children. And I was like, I don't really know what's going to happen, and I don't know how my body's going to respond. So the first thing I'm going to do is secure my family. So I went and did egg freezing. So that whole story is a God thing too, because I went to see the fertility doctor. Again, the names of these doctors are just leaving my mind. I can't remember them, but I met with him, and he was explaining to me how the process works of egg freezing and blah, blah, blah. So I started the process. This was, I think, November. It was after my birthday, I believe. So we started the egg freezing process. I had to do these shot injections in my stomach. I think it was like every night I had to do it, and I had to take some pills too, which will mature your eggs so they get like really, really big, so that they can extract them. And it was so uncomfortable. Like, you feel bloated all the time, and it was just very uncomfortable. You have to go in and get monitored every single week. Like, it was very time consuming, but very worth it. So I go and I start my medication, and I get all the way to the end. This was like somewhere in December or early January. And the financial lady put me aside. Is like, yeah, you need to pay $4,000 before we can go and extract your eggs. And again, I'm on all these hormones. Like, all this stuff, my mood is just like super elevated. So I'm like, excuse me, what? Like, nobody told me any of this. Like, how? And I was upset because how do you let somebody go through the whole treatment process and then at the end be like, oh, well, we can't do anything for you till you pay this money? Like, what? I was so upset. I started crying, bawling. I called my boyfriend. I'm like, they said they can't da 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 da. And I'm just like, I hang up the phone on him because I'm just so distraught. And of course, the financial aid is just like, she don't really care. I feel like she didn't care. But the nurse that I was seeing at the time, she put me into the room and she was like, we're going to take care of you and everything is going to be complimentary. We brought it up to the board of directors and they all agreed that we will do your treatment for free because you should not have been able to go this long into treatment and nobody say anything to you about a payment or nobody say anything to you about what the expectations were. So we're going to comp this treatment for you. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. Like, because I was like, these eggs have to come out of my body. It's like they have to come out. But I also don't like have all this money to give you to do that. So definitely like just God was with me throughout this entire journey, like just opening doors and like moving things out of the way and creating opportunities for me this entire time. So I go and get my egg extraction. I did one cycle. They removed 52 eggs from one cycle, which is really, really abnormal. The normal egg count, I think they get is like between 12 and 15 or something on average. So I was way above my average of those eggs that they got. So I did egg freezing and then I did surgery. So the story about surgery is that they wanted me to do chemo first and then surgery, but I was like, I was so afraid of chemo. Like I really didn't want to do it. Like for the longest, I was like, I'm not doing chemo. Like I'll figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not doing it. And it took for me to change doctors for her to explain and just give me the options because again I'm coming from fear, right? Like I don't know what's going to happen. I've never been through this before. I do know what chemo does because I've seen it happen with my mom, but I didn't know what it was. Like I just didn't know, so I was afraid of it. And I went to go see this new doctor and she just gave me the option. She was like, well, here is your percentage chance of living with chemo and here is it without chemo. You decide what you want to do. And I was like, oh well, I want to live, so I guess I'm doing chemo. But I was like, if I'm doing chemo, I want to do it after. I want to have my surgery first because y'all are going to have to take my boob anyway, so I might as well just get the tumor out and then do chemo. So that's what I did. And they allowed me to do that because their order of operation is chemo, surgery, and then I think radiation after that. So, and I kind of flipped it. So I did my surgery. I removed my right breast January 26th, I think, was surgery day. They could not save my nipple because the tumor had grown too far close to it. So they had to remove my nipple and all of my breast tissue. And the plastic surgeon that I had consulted with at the time, he actually quit the day of my surgery. So he didn't put my expander in my chest at that time because I guess he knew he was quitting. He wasn't going to be working at that office anymore, so he didn't do it. So I was flat for a while, so I didn't have anything there. So I, went through recovery. My family came down, my friends came down. That was so, so lovely. So after I recovered from surgery, I had to start chemo. So my treatment plan was 8 sessions, 4 of like the really hard chemo and then 4 of the like softer chemo. And they call it the hard chemo the Red Devil because it is red and it is the most like powerful chemo that they have, more aggressive, I should say. So I had to do 4 rounds of that and then 4 rounds of another. I think it's called, the other one was Cytoxin or something like that. So I started chemo the first day. So they explained to you, like, you're going to have an up week and a down week. So when you get your chemo that day, you're going to be down for that week. So you might be tired, not want to eat, and all this stuff for that week. And then the next week, it's going to be your up week because the drugs would have come out of your body by then. So it's like a fluctuation every week. So I started chemo, and that first time I didn't really feel a difference. Like, I felt a little tired afterwards, but I was like, oh, if this is what chemo is, like, I'll be fine. Like, I can get through this. Baby, that second one is what did it. That second treatment, I felt so sick. Like, it's like a sickness in your stomach that does not go away. And it's really hard to explain what it feels like if you haven't gone through it. So it feels like your body is literally dying to live. And everything hurts. Everything is sore. You cannot eat. You're dehydrated. Your skin changes. Your hair comes out. Again, you have no energy and you lose lots of weight. I think I lost so much weight. I can't remember what my weight ended up being. I think it was like 130 something, or like something around 130 at the end of it. But I had lost so much weight because I could not eat. And the things that I could eat was probably like fruit or like applesauce, like something light like that. And I remember even like I would eat something and immediately I would throw it up. Like, I couldn't even keep it down. So after that second session, that second chemo treatment, is when it just went downhill from there. Like, I didn't have an up week after that. It was straight down. And I would try to like go out or like take a walk or just go outside and just get sun, but I was just really, really tired a lot of the times, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to. I mean, I barely took pictures during that time. I just felt so bad, and not even just like mentally, but just physically. I just felt bad, and I know that my friends were frustrated because they don't live in Atlanta, so they couldn't get to me soon, and the only way that they could keep tabs on me is through phone. And I did not want to talk to them. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and it wasn't anything personal. It was just that I was just going through so much, and I was also depressed. So me talking, and I'm not the type of person that likes to spread my sadness or whatever I'm feeling to other people, because I know how impactful I am with my energy. So I like to kind of keep it together to myself so I don't affect others. And that was basically what was going through. It was like I would talk to them and I just wouldn't. I mean, I had nothing good to say. Like, and I know that sounds bad. Like, oh, you're alive and like you have so much to be grateful for. Like, yes, duh, but I'm still having a real experience, and it was just really, really hard for me to like talk about it sometimes because it just was hard. It was hard. So chemo was like probably one of the hardest things that I've had to go through in my entire life. And I only had to do 4 sessions. So I really can't even imagine like people that have to do chemo forever or like more than 8 sessions, because my body was tapped out by 8. Like, it just was, I couldn't take it anymore. So also during that time of chemo, one of my good friends from high school, he ended up committing suicide during that time. So on top of me fighting for my life, he went and took his. And having to sit with that reality was difficult because I was kind of upset at him for a while because I'm like, here I am, literally fighting for my life to live. And then you go and take yours. Like, it was just the biggest slap in the face to me. And I had to really like sit with those feelings and really forgive him for doing that because I was just like, well, damn, like, you, like, but um, I love Maurice. Long live Mo Money. Um, and I have since come to peace with that situation. But yeah, so going through chemo and then having to, fly back home to go to a funeral um, was not easy, but it also was something that I needed because all of my friends were there too, and they were able to kind of love on me and like see me in the flesh. Since a few of them weren't able to, since I had started treatment. So, um, I did treatment. Then then I had surgery. I had another new plastic surgeon, Dr. Page. She was amazing, and she was able to put an expander in my chest, so I wasn't walking around just flat chested, because that was awful. So after I kind of healed from chemo, I did plastic my expander surgery. So it's an expander is basically something they put in your chest to kind of help spread the skin because I still had to do radiation. So I did that, healed from that, and then I did radiation. I think it was like 10 to 12 weeks or something like that. And it was every day. It was every day. Maybe it was 6 weeks. I don't know. But it was every single day, Monday through Friday, I had to go. It was only like 15, 30 minutes, whatever, but it was still every day I had to go. So did radiation. Radiation wasn't bad in comparison to chemo. Like radiation, like my skin kind of got dry. It got like discolored a little bit. The biggest thing was just having to go every day. Like that was just kind of a pain in my ass. But um, yeah, so I got through radiation, and that was the last of the treatment that I had to go through, and that was actually January of 24 was my last treatment day. So after that, I then had to get my exchange surgery. So my expander to implant surgery. So now I'm up to 3 surgeries at this point. Maybe 4 because I had to get my port put in. And I don't know if you can see, but this is my port scar here. Oh no, move over. Yeah, it's my port scar. Um, so I had to get my expander to implant put in. And that surgery was, yeah, that was last year because it wasn't this year. Yeah. Um, yeah, that was last year. That was the last surgery that I had to do. And so now I just go and do at first it was every 6 month checkup. So now it's once a year. And I get a mammogram. I go and see all my doctors, which I have them coming up now, my doctor's appointments. But yeah, I just keep up with my doctor's appointments. I have chosen to, and I don't even know if I want to say this or not because it's really a personal decision, and I don't know if I want y'all in my business like that. But for the sake of sharing my story, my personal story, I decided to not take I guess the maintenance drug after someone would get diagnosed with breast cancer. And the reason being is that I truly believe that I will never go through it again. And I don't need it. I don't need to take something to help prevent it from coming back if I know it's not coming back. And it also just doesn't prevent it from coming back all the time either. So it's like taking this drug every day and reducing my quality of life was not worth it to me. So I did other things. I cut out sugar a lot. I stopped drinking a whole lot. Like I will have an occasional drink. Like if you see me with a drink in my hand, it's really because I'm out or something like it's not because I really don't drink a whole lot. Um, and yeah, so I stopped drinking, gave up sugar. Um, I have been in therapy. I've been in therapy for like 2 or 3 years now. And I'm just really mindful of what I put in my body, what I put on to my body. I'm mindful of just being more expressive. And that's another reason why I want to do this podcast, because I needed to talk more. I need to be more vocal. And I think this is a really good avenue for me to do that. And it's really healing in a way. Um, and what else do I do? I haven't been working out as much as I should be right now, but yes, I do work out. Um, and yeah, I'm very mindful of what I digest, because I don't think people realize that diseases and like cancers and like all these things is a result of what happens in our outside world and how we respond to it. So if you're someone that holds on to a lot of their emotions, their pain, their anger, their sadness without a healthy outlet for that, it will manifest into a disease. Whatever it is, it could be high blood pressure, it could be whatever. It does manifest. Like, I don't know if y'all have read The Body Keeps Score, but the body does keep score of your mental state and your emotional state. So being aware of that and making sure that you're at peace with whatever that you're doing is also key to staying healthy, because these days you could be stressed out, like with this economy, with this administration, with social media, like everything. We have so many stressors now. And also, I didn't even think about the food. Like, our food is just so toxic these days. The air is toxic. Like, everything has the potential to create a disease in our body. And we have to be mindful of what we're doing with those things, with social media, with paying attention to the news and things like that. Like, it's okay to be aware of things, but to not let it consume you. And I think that how I've been getting through this administration and just current news is that I really truly believe, and I could be Delulu, but I really believe that none of that will affect me. And it could be me being naive, it could be me just manifesting, it could be any of those things, but I truly believe that none of what this administration is doing is going to affect me and my household. And I have nothing to worry about. And and if something is affected, then a solution will come from it. So I don't ever really worry about if I'm going to have enough money, if I'm going to have enough food, if I'm going to be able to do this and this and that. I have faith that everything is going to work out the way that it should, and I'm exactly where I need to be at this time. So yeah, that is my long but short cancer story in lieu of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. This was a really good intro, I guess. I hope that you all learned a little bit something more from me. And as the episodes come out and I open up a little bit more, you'll learn me more. But yeah, so this is me. This is Unique, the girl behind the curls. Everybody wants long hair. And if you're anything like me, I really don't like to cut my hair because obviously I want to grow it long like Pocahontas. However, I also know that trimming my ends and keeping my split ends in check is what gets me longer hair in the future. So if you are going 6 months, a year, even 2 years without getting your ends checked or clipped or trimmed, then you are most likely having or experiencing split ends that are going all the way up the shaft, which contributes to dehydration in your hair. And it also contributes to how easy it is for your maintenance. So I suggest getting your hair trimmed every 3 months if you wear it straight, or every 6 months, 5 to 6 months, if you wear your hair curly. And that will help to retain the length that you are striving for without having to feel like you cut all of your hair off at one time. Thanks for tuning in to Curls and Conversation, where every strand tells a hair story. I hope you leave here feeling inspired to love on your hair a little bit more. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. Until next time, stay moisturized, stay confident, and stay curly.